In this second video of our 4-part series, I'll be covering all the equipment that you need to go rope climbing indoors. The target audience for this video is going to be for people who might have never climbed before or who have only gone bouldering indoors and are wondering what equipment they need as they learn the ropes. Disclaimer: any climbing gear or climbing techniques that are mentioned in this series should not be considered official advice. Please seek the guidance of certified climbing guides when you're learning the ropes. So you're going to be climbing with ropes. So obviously the first thing you're going to want is a harness. We're going to start off with a quick lesson in anatomy so that you better understand this piece of gear. The belay loop is where you connect your belay device or any hard materials to your harness. The hard points on your harness, also referred to as tie-in points, are where you attach your climbing rope. Those little pieces of fabrics are reinforced so that you can attach soft fabrics to your harness without too much abrasion. The gear loops are not weight bearing. They're only there to help you carry things. Leg loops provide supports to you and distribute the load so that when you're belaying, catching falls, or hanging on your harness, it's more comfortable. It's important to note here that the difference between different models of harnesses is never going to be about safety. Different models are just going to have slightly different ergonomic features that are made specifically for intended uses. The Black Diamond Momentum is the gold standard in entry-level harnesses. It's affordable, it's durable, it's versatile enough that it's going to progress with you in your climbing, and it's relatively comfortable for most uses. It's a great option to get you started with roped climbing. The Petzl Corax is also another really popular option for beginners. Though it's slightly more expensive than the Black Diamond, it's also more beefy, which is going to make it more durable, and much more comfortable for most users. Its double buckle adjustment system also makes it much easier to find the perfect fit for you. Ultimately, for climbing harnesses, the only things that matter are comfort and a great fit. So if you're shopping around for a harness, I suggest trying on as many as you can and find one that's really snug around both your waist and around your legs so that you're comfortable to wear it all day long. So the next item on the list is a chalk bag with a waist loop so that you can carry chalk with you as you climb up the walls. The important things to consider when you're shopping for chalk bags is that the opening is big enough to comfortably fit your hand in it and that you're happy with the closure system, as you'll be opening and closing the chalk bag quite frequently when you're climbing. You can also consider additional features like a place to hold your brush or an additional pocket to store your snacks or your phone. Next, we're going to be covering belay devices. Belay devices are one of the most crucial components of a climbing kit and is likely going to be the next thing that you buy right after your harness. The belay device is what's going to allow the belayer to catch a climber when they're falling by redirecting the weight onto the harness. There's 3 types of belay devices that exist. Within the scope of this video, we're only going to be covering tube-style belay devices and the gree-gree, as they're the 2 most common belay devices that can be found in climbing gyms. All belay devices are handled in slightly different ways, which might vary not only by brand and model, but also by context. So when you're purchasing your belay device, you need to understand how to operate it and first and foremost practice it in a safe setting. Tube-style devices like the Black Diamond ATC and the Petzl Verso are by far the most simple and most affordable option for belay devices, and in many ways they can be quite versatile. Unfortunately, it's also the least safe option, as they don't offer any braking assistance to the belayer. Active assisted belay devices have a moving part in them, which makes them really good at pinching down on the rope. They can be a little more tricky to operate at first, but they end up becoming quite intuitive after a little bit of practice. They're by far the safest and most popular option, with the Petzl Gree-Gree standing as the long-reigning king of all belay devices. My personal suggestion is that if you're not quite sure how often you'll be rope climbing, or you're just starting to try it out, you should opt for the tube-style belay device given how incredibly affordable it is. However, if you have any inkling in your mind that you're going to continue into your journey of rope climbing, I wouldn't hesitate to buy the Petzl Gree-Gree. It's absolutely the one piece of equipment in your starting kit that's really worth dishing out a little bit of extra money for. The final item on the list for today is a carabiner for your belay device. So in order to connect your belay device to your harness when you're belaying, you want to use a locking carabiner. The 2 shapes of carabiners that you want to be aware of are pear carabiners and D-shaped carabiners. Pear carabiners have a large round basket at the top, which is designed to provide a smooth surface for the rope to run over. These carabiners are great for any application where the rope is running directly through the carabiner, like when using a tube-style belay device. D-shaped carabiners are designed to connect 2 items in line. Instead of providing a rope-bearing surface, they redirect forces along the major axis, making them great for use with a gree-gree. You also want to consider the closure system of your locking carabiner. Screw gates are the bread and butter of locking carabiners. They work, they're quite safe, they're pretty affordable, but you can't forget to lock them. Auto-locking carabiners close on their own through some combination of mechanisms. Depending on the specific mechanism, they can be a bit more finicky to operate, but at least they're going to be safer. So that sums it up for the equipment that you're going to need to transition to indoor roped climbing. Stay tuned for the next video in our series where we venture into the great outdoors. If you're interested in any of the items that we covered today, make sure to pass by Beta Block to check out our selection of gear, as well as ask any questions that you might have about it.